When you feel like dying.
What time? No.
Who feels it knows it.
You comfortable there?
You ever
I'm
see
listening.
time?
Yeah, no, anyway, I don't want me. This one put the microphone where you want. Okay.
Denial and strain has made you to stand sunshine or rain. Did you ever have to go when you felt like staying? Who feels it knows it, then you understand. Cause you know what I'm saying. Who feels it knows it. Have you ever reached out for love that wasn't there? It's your night turn today.
Very pleasant good morning to you, the faithful listeners of Tambrin Radio here in Tobago, Trinidad, in the region, across the world, on the moon, on Saturn, Jupiter, Mars, wherever you may be. Because of the technology, you can hear us anywhere in the world. You can hear us anywhere in the galaxy, as a matter of fact, right? So this is Who Feels It Knows It here on Radio Tambrin, Uptown Scarborough, 92.7 FM. And, we started this program, 2 weeks, last week, as a matter of fact. And the program materially, its purpose is to put information in the space. We are on the cusp of an election, and we hope that the information will assist persons as they prepare themselves for the vote on the 28th, which is next week, Monday. We have had different representations. We have had secretaries from the Tobago House of Assembly here. We have had the area reps from Tobago East and Tobago West and so on. And so this morning we want to have a youth voice, a ordinary man on the street, a young man, to get his thoughts on the election and on the politics of the day and so on, and how he feels about it, and what is his sense from talking and interfacing with the young people, what are their thoughts and so on, and what impact has the philosophy of the TOP made on this demographic as far as he is concerned and what he sees and so on. So we are talking this morning. Joining me in the seat is Mr. Junior Breaker Benjamin. Mr. Benjamin, good morning, and welcome to Who Feels It Knows It.
Pleasant good morning indeed,
Yes.
Pastor Baynes. Firstly, and I want to also send a pleasant good morning to the wider Tobago.
Mm-hmm.
It's indeed a pleasure to be in the chair this morning to engage in these pertinent discussions.
Yes.
And as I was telling my wife before I leave home, I think the future,
Yes,
the future of the island hangs in the decision next Monday.
Right.
That's how important I see it.
Right.
Before we, as we go into the engagement, I needed to mention that this is, I think the island that we all love so much.
Yes.
The island that we all grow to boast about to other people who are not so geographically fortunate as us.
Yeah.
It hangs on the decision that we make.
Right. Agreed. Well, I mean, I know, tell us a little bit about Junior Benjamin, where you hail from, that kind of thing, as a young man and so on, your own ambitions in the Tobago space. Tell us about that. Tell us
the man Junior Breaker Benjamin, I think, as we all know, is no stranger to the Tobago space. But to adhere to your request, born and grew up, in my opinion, and no disrespect to the people in the East, I spent 5 beautiful years at Roxbow Composite, which in my opinion is the GOAT of all high schools.
Yeah. Explain what you mean GOAT.
Yes, the greatest of all. But it started in Canaan Bonaccord, which is to me should be the new capital of the island. West. The was said before, no disrespect to the East.
Right.
But you Canaan Bonaccord Primary School, the humble up beginnings, where you come from there in terms of aspiration in the Tobago space. To be honest with you, Pastor Baynes, is just really to contribute to a better Tobago generally, you know, because if we get a better Tobago, everybody benefits.
Yes,
you know. So in terms of me personally, I would have tried my very best over the years to encourage people to don't be muzzled. And as the program goes on, we'll hear more about people who are muzzled.
Right.
You know, I tried my best to explain to them that if you have a position and you believe in your position, you must express that position respectfully.
Yes.
Respectfully.
Yes. Right.
You know, and I would have gone on to contribute to that. Obviously, who knows me knows that my area of expertise and interest, professional and academic interests, have been in the legal fraternity, which I am currently still in the process of climaxing to be able to be in a position to assist my people. You know, so I am just a concerned citizen. You know, I don't want to come here and talk about academic credentials because it's about reaching the grassroots.
Right.
You know?
Right. So, Breaker, you know, it is bantered about that young people have very little interest in the electoral system, very little interest in the politics for that matter. They are very disenchanted and all that kind of stuff. What is your experience? What is your sense? Is this true? Is this a percentage of young people, or is this the larger percentage of young people? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, to initiate my response to that, Pastor Baynes, I would like to get a little theological. And you will correct me with your superior theological knowledge. Isn't there a quote that says that mankind will perish for the lack of knowledge?
Indeed, there is.
And I just believe that it comes down to those in power and the authority never really paying it as an important part to educate the young people on the importance of that constitutional and democratic right to engage in that process.
Right.
So I wouldn't endorse the view on a general basis because I believe that contrary to the belief of a lot of people, there are a lot of informed young people out there.
Yes.
It's just that they have never really been holistically empowered to understand the pertinency behind the constitutional right, which is to go out there and vote. And I hope that a lot of work have been done to do so we wouldn't have such problem come Monday.
Right.
So I don't conspire to the view. I don't share the view that the young people are generally not interested. I believe that they are generally not informed on a holistic level.
Right. So it's not that they're not interested, is in because they say that the more you are informed, the better you are expected to perform.
Of course, you are able. The more informed you are able to make better decision making. Sure. Your decision making becomes one of a higher level of competence when you are informed. And as you will understand in the time that we are allowed here, the people have been informed clearly over the past 10 years why they should make a certain decision come on it.
Right.
Which we will get into among
Of course. So the candidate for Tobago West is Mr. Joel Marcus, aka Nutsi Sampson. A gentleman that you would have known and so on. And I have heard your commentary about him already. But for the purpose of the listenership here on Tambourine Radio and so on, what are your thoughts on the work ethic one, the possibility of representation at the national level with Mr. Sampson? What are your thoughts on that?
You know, before I get into the meat of that response, I want to share a famous story with Mr. Sampson. I will try to summarize it as best as possible. I know Mr. Sampson more than 20 years. From the days when I used to be playing cricket for the Canaan Bonaccord Sports Club and he football with Phoenix. On his free time, where he, as the Nazi aspect of the name, which a lot of people don't know, is while it have big football games and thing down in the Canaan ground, he would come around selling the nuts. The salted ones, the unsalted ones.
He was a nuts man?
Yeah, man.
I didn't know that.
And he would stay down on the flats and he would throw it up to Hussein up on the top there and these things. And I'm getting straight into it right now.
Yes.
There was a comment on the last program when he was here. If he has what it takes to represent people.
Yes.
Correct me if I'm wrong, being a current assemblyman yourself.
Yes.
The first rule, and I think the first ingredient constitutional or holistic ingredient to even harbor any intent of representing people is how close they could stay to this ground, how well they could stay grounded.
Yes,
and
agreed.
Mr. Sampson has born on the ground and he never left the ground.
Right.
He's a down-to-earth fella, and I think that's one of the main ingredients to even engage in representational politics. I have seen Mr. Sampson, and I'm not saying that others don't do it. I have to respond to that because that's what you asked me about. I have seen Mr. Sampson on many occasions, sometimes in times when his domestic right should be taking precedence, still forsaking that right to see what interests the people. There are scenarios where Mr. Sampson would have had his young one in his hand and engaging people who would have come to him privately at his home, listening to the issue still.
Right.
How we cannot safely say that that is something that we see with those who oppose to Mr. Sampson. So the people of Tobago West not only have somebody who will be vocal for them, not only have somebody who will represent the right issues, most importantly, and as we will hear soon, he cannot be muzzled.
Right.
So the people of Tobago intention will not and cannot be muzzled when Mr. Sampson, when they send Mr. Sampson to the national parliament.
Right. Because I mean, what Mr. Sampson was here yesterday, and we had conversations and so on, and one of the points that I raised was that it seems to me, because of the dynamic of the Tobago West politics, that you first need a candidate that is likable.
Exactly,
right?
Correct.
Likable. That helps you a long way, and so on. I've seen that before, and certainly Mr. Sampson has won the hearts of many people, and so on. I was asking him about, well, it's news to me because I never knew what the alias nut, where it came from. I didn't know the man was
the man commercialized the famous snack over the years, man. and he would have been interacting and negotiating with people from a very long time.
Yes.
The people of Tobago West, all they will have absolutely no problem closing all their eye and sending this man to Port of Spain on the 28th of this good month come Monday, because the guy have been on the ground with the people, representing the people from a very, very humble and humility is one of the main ingredients in this too. Now, I want to get a bit into it immediately, if you permit me.
Go ahead.
When you look at Mr. Sampson and he being the candidate for the Tobago People's Party in the West, now many will agree. It will be very inconceivable if somebody doubt me here. The West, where the airport is,
right,
it's one of the first part of the island that people are seeing when they come into the when they come into the island of Tobago.
Sure.
And you don't have to have no degree or doctorate in observational science. You can traverse yourself throughout the entire West and ask yourself literally, what have been done for the past 10 years? This has nothing to do with who you're supporting or who you like or who you want to vote for. Just take a look at it.
Right.
Just take a look at it and you will see for yourself.
Yes. And I agree.
What has been done?
I agree. And there's an attempt to adjudicate on the work of officials in the Tobago House of Assembly, when in truth and in fact it is the work of the area representative, the Tobago East, the former Tobago East representative and the former Tobago West representative. It is their tenure that is before us for us to adjudicate on.
Of course, that is where the verdict has to lie.
Yes, indeed.
That is where the verdict has to lie. But you see, they're trying to let people believe that they did so much within the 10 years,
right,
that they believe that they have the constitutional gall to come back and ask to be reinstated for additional 10 years. I have utmost confidence in my people, Pastor B, my people of Tobago, that they would make a decision, not based on the lies that they have been told about our THA officials.
Right.
But based on what they know they want as a people
Right.
and as an island to develop.
Right.
And it is very important that we make an informed decision, not an emotional one.
Right. No. When Mr. Sampson, if we just want to go there, when Mr. Sampson assumed responsibility, succeeded me at the Division of Community Development and so on, and the mandate was to focus on a considerable amount of programs to assist young people, and there was a suite of youth-oriented programs under the auspices of community development and so on. In comparison, what can we say, you as a young person, right, as an honest assessment of what the Tobago West representative, what has she done to enhance youth development in Tobago, to present and to put in the Tobago space, Tobago West, let me talk Tobago West, to improve the lives of young people, to get to the skills that young people have, to harness those skills and make them become the best that they could become. In terms of representation on a youth level, what have you been able to see from the representative?
Pastor Baynes, before I actually respond to it quite had disheartening and to a point painful that these two PNM MPs that sat there for 10 years, they consumed the decision where they consumed the corridors of the rooms and part where the decisions are made for this country. Where the decisions are made for this country, and did next to nothing to advance a position that will benefit youth development in Tobago. I talked to some young people down at the store, be it Pigeon Point environs the other day, and what they are indicating to me, and to be honest with you, young people are more informed than we think.
That's true.
They are more informed than we think, and what some of them are telling me is that if you don't comply to their political philosophy, you're literally in the wilderness. And I am clear to say, and I'm saying it here this morning, they cannot point to even 3 physical decisions that have benefited the holistic development of the young people in the island of Tobago, and they would have been in that decision-making seat at the national level for 10 years. It's painful, Pastor Baynes. It literally painful.
Yeah, and I mean that is a significant point, because representation is exactly what it is. It's a simple word. People have a particular concern or concerns, and there is a place where those concerns can be addressed. The people cannot go there en masse.
Exactly.
So they pick persons to represent those concerns. You make sure that they are facilitated with all the tools so to do. You pay them well. You make sure that there's nothing that inhibits them from doing that. And you expect that those concerns that you have will be addressed in that space.
Indeed. And I'm glad you mentioned that. But before we move on, I want to say this to the people of Tobago. I want to say this to the people of Tobago and explain this to the people of Tobago. Listen to me. This country, and Pastor Baynes, you will correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not beyond correction. This country, in terms of governmental independence, is about what, 62, 63 years old?
Thereabout.
Yeah. But here the point I'm making to Tobago, and I want you to listen to this. This country that we call Trinidad and Tobago only ever left the hands of PNM control when the People's Partnership got 5, Mr. Raymond Robinson, may his soul rest in peace, got 5, and Basdio Silver Fox Pandy. That means, applying the laws of basic numerical science, the People's National Movement had the majority of decision-making time in this country to fix the social and holistic ills that we are now trying to fix, 40-something years after. And that is what the people need to understand. When they try to come to tell you that the current administration do this in 4 years or do this in 3.5, however you want to tag it.
Right. Right.
We must be reminded that they would have had the most chance
Right.
in a position, in a decision-making position, to be able to affect the changes that we so want now. So people have to, as we just always say, get intimately involved with the facts.
Right. And that's a salient point. As I said, I think the thing that is most acid for me, and it seems to me, is the gall that these two reps have to come, because you see, the thing is that the real pertinent issues for Tobago have not changed. The issues of transportation between the islands, the issues of the security of the islands, the issue of respect for the Tobago officials that the Tobago people vote for, the issues of what the law says about what falls under the purview of the Tobago House of Assembly and what falls under the purview of the National Parliament. Those issues continue to be a bugbear on the Tobago people after two-term tenure. You understand? So and so it's not every little thing. It's not every little thing that the Tobago people send them down to represent on. There are some matters that we can handle ourselves.
Exactly.
You understand? And these things that we're talking about here are not difficult things. These things are practical things that impact all of our lives, including them.
Exactly.
You understand? And we have not been able to get them to make any significant impact in terms of representing us. Listen, we have to take a breaker, and we gonna be back shortly. If you are just joining us, this is Who Feels It Knows It here on Tamarind Radio 92.7 Uptown Scarborough. I must say that next to the Salmon Tree, if you please. And this we're gonna be back shortly. Stay there.
Come on, Mom. Let's go shopping. Standard's got the
Good
deal.
morning, everybody. Thank you all for joining us. And we hope that the conversation is of benefit to you. Welcome.
50% off. Appliances shine, almost half off. Furniture style, up to 40% down. Best prices in town, all around. 5 locations across the nation. Standard's the place for celebration. Standard, nobody beats us on price. Shop online now at standardtt.com.
Yeah, man.
That's
So
nice.
let me resend and I'll call it after the program.
Curamin is the answer. Curamin doesn't just mask pain, it gets to the source and stops your pain all without damage. And it is non-addictive. Get Curamin now. Available at all leading pharmacies and health food stores nationwide.
We've been playing for you for a long time, and now we lift you up a little higher.
Reggae Conscious Thursday. Reggae Conscious Thursdays.
Me, Mr. Marlon Asher says so. Remember, you're there on 92.7 FM. Lead out.
Blessing of brothers and sisters, you don't know this is the original Jam Melody. And you see whenever I'm in Tobago, don't know say we radio. Oh, yeah. Rastafari. You're everything a man can want and more. Emperor Selassie, I am your road, rocky dynasty.
From foundation to the true reggae conscious heads.
Yeah, man, Radio Tamarind, Garner Leaf, 92.7, and we radio. Royal DMT say that. Boom, boom, reggae.
Reggae Conscious Thursday, only on 92.7 FM.
Yo, people, stay tuned. Radio Tower 92.7. Banging. It's the relaunch of the Jet Express Service Company. Anything, anywhere, anytime. Check out
Banging, boys.
Operating out of the Mongrel Street Depot. There you will find it. Jet Express Courier Service Company, offering inter-island transportation. Yes, check out Bogey. If you can't come to him, Bogey will come to you. Fast, efficient service, like a jet. Contact number 310-1681 and 684-2225. Jet Express Trinidad and Tobago. Anything, anywhere, anytime. Powered by the people. But wait now, Bogey, you could deliver a Kaiso?
I'm the Korea maestro. If you don't know where to go, come by me.
Yeah.
Come by me. If you have a slow Korea and you need a lifesaver, come by me. Try Boogie.
Welcome back. In case you're now joining us, this is Who Feels It Knows It here on Tamron Radio 92.7 FM, a program that is held under the auspices of the Tobago People's Party. Sitting in with me this morning is Mr. Junior Benjamin, aka Breaker Benjamin. We're talking about trying to get a youth perspective on this matter of the vote come the 28th. Mr. Benjamin is a young man that has been pretty much in and around this space, have his own thoughts and views on the going-ons of the politics in the Tobago space. I want to get your thoughts, Breaker, on the representation or lack thereof for the people of Canaan Bonaccord, particularly those persons in that area that have been affected by the erecting of the new terminal and so on. There are young people, obviously, that have been affected by that as well. And I remember we have gone down there as assemblymen in support of the area rep, Mr. Sampson, looking at the challenges and trying to bring some kind of support to the people and so on. And I know he talked about it yesterday. What are your thoughts as a young person, looking at that, knowing that you have representatives in the parliament that's supposed to look out for the interests of the people to make sure we understand that there are progress in a nation is progress in a nation. You understand? And there's legislation for that. But we also understand that there is just and proper treatment of the persons who may be, victims in the sense that they may have to move for the advancement of government policy and projects and that kind of thing. What are your thoughts on that?
It's quite unfortunate, as you rightfully mentioned. My initial response to that is that, to me, the major issue with that relocation effort for the airport upgrade is not per se that the people are against the development, because no, that's not the case. Pastor Baynes is how they were treated.
Yes.
How the people were treated. And some of them were disrespected intellectually and economically. Because it looks as though when this was executed by central government, no great thought was put into the economical requirement that is associated with rebuilding and relocating. That as the candidate for Tobago has rightfully mentioned, there are still people who are in the sea as to where they abode, as to the completion of the next abode. So what I would have gathered very much, and I engage the young people on these issues very frequently, very often. And some of them were so upset to the point that they asking the elders, like the adults who was at the forefront of the deal in terms of what they're getting when they move on them, they asked them if this couldn't be handled better. What happened to the people that have been elected to be the voice of those individuals? One of the things that even before I came here this morning for this program, remember when the chief said, and you will correct me if I'm wrong again, will not be on correction, when he was saying, let it run as a 24-hour and he will engage in assisting in the expense of that. And that was, because I heard him on the program, that was blatantly ignored. So the disrespect that the people down at the relocation face, I am very firm in what I'm about to say. Our justification for that will be removing the incumbent from speaking for anybody in Tobago West where this is concerned. And the hurtful part is that, as I just mentioned, is there are still people who have no guarantee as to what next, where a place of abode is concerned. And we have deafening silence on those matters from a lady that's supposed to be representing the concerns and the issues. It took theatre. It took the criticized Tobago House of Assembly to come in and use what little constitutional authority they have.
And resources as well.
Exactly, and resources to bring relief to the people, even with the lowering of the price. Where they would have bought back the lands to be able to have a chance. To be able to have a chance. So this is why if these people they care about Tobago, they would have given Tobago what they're supposed to get
Right.
so that we'll be in a better fiscal position
Yes.
to be able to give better assistance to them.
Yeah.
And the fact that they didn't do that, Pastor Baynes, is because they don't care on a holistic front.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I agree. I mean, it is plain to see that there is very little, if any, care for the welfare of the Tobago people. This is why it is offensive to me for the incumbent MPs to come to ask me to vote for them again. You understand? And anything that they do now is cosmetic. It is a trick. It is a farce. It is intended, the trinkets are intended to try and coerce persons to vote for them, and then, but the critical matters that affect us have not been attended to it over the past two terms that they were in office.
Exactly.
So we're right at the same place.
Pastor Baynes, we need to determine we own affairs here.
Yes.
We need to determine we own affairs here on a holistic economical front. Let me give the people at Tobago a simple example. There are some people who reach out to me recently, right? And this example is how Tobago people and Tobagonians are intellectually disrespected. Like, for instance, people who are waiting on things like gratuity and these kind of things. Imagine these things in this modern time where there are so much brilliant-minded Tobagonians. These things have to go to Trinidad to be tabulated, to then be sent back here. So what they are telling us, that Tobagonians don't have people with the necessary intellectual capacity and capability to handle these affairs by themselves. This is why Tobago, when we send Joel Marcus Sampson and David Joseph Thomas to Parliament, these bread and butter issues, these issues that are very pertinent to our day-to-day living in Tobago will and have to be addressed, Pastor Baynes.
Sure. And I think, I contend that the vote is an intelligent vote. The vote should be an intelligent vote. The vote is a Tobago vote, because what we are voting on come Monday the 28th is on the destiny of Tobago.
Correct.
And also the deliverance of Tobago.
Correct.
You understand? I want you to talk about this ideology that we have. The Chief Secretary champions this cause, and we have all bought into it. Tobago becoming the greatest little island on the planet. It is, some may misconstrue the idea and think it is arrogant rhetoric, but it seems to me it is inspirational insight. You understand? As a young person, what do you see? What does this mean? What does this mean? The greatest little island on the planet. What does that mean for a young person?
It means hope. It means unquestionable opportunities provided by the natural attributes of this beautiful island. And let me get straight into it, Pastor Baynes. You know, when anytime I have Breaker Benjamin on these programs, I doesn't afraid to talk this after I talk. Let me tell you why that concept is very believable and very realistic. Pastor Baynes, a couple of years ago,
Right.
about 5 or 6 years ago, we escorted, me and some of my soldiers and brothers from the West, escorted a gentleman from Holland to around the island tour, right? When we reach, you know that part when you enter in Charlottesville, just before you go in, you could stop on top and see all that majestic view of the ocean.
Yes.
The guy told us to stop there, right? When the guy stopped there, the guy come out with a tripod and a camera set up and all these different things, and the guy take some photos and whatnot. Pastor Baynes, about 3 or 4 months after, the guy is making us to know that he gained more than $4 million from selling those photos outside in his country of Tobago.
Wow.
So one more proof,
Right.
one more convincing you need
Right.
that this island has what it takes to become the greatest little island on planet Earth. Our geographical attributes, I believe, is one of the greatest fuel to that belief. So if we have non-nationals
Right.
coming here and gaining such major economical benefits from our picturesque ambience in this island,
Yes.
then of course,
Right.
if we are empowered the right way,
Yes.
Tobagonians could engage in such benefit.
Sure.
This is why it is of paramount, it is extremely important that when we send Mr. Sampson and Mr. Thomas to the parliament, we argue for that right to be able to charter our own course.
Yes.
And Tobagonians must understand some of the things that are going on in this place. We have to educate them on the 5th and the 6th schedule.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
things that we have say over, the things that we don't have say over.
Sure.
When you have the chief making major contribution to national security,
Yes.
which is something that we not in control of,
True.
it goes to shows you. It goes to shows you how neglected we have. And I'm almost certain that over the past 10 years, with the various different changes in ministers of national security and whatnot, that our 2 PNM reps would have knocked shoulders, share tea glass, and even probably pass lunch for one of these security ministers over the years. And you couldn't find 5 minutes at least.
Right.
In 10 years,
Yes.
you couldn't have find even 5 minutes to say, well, hey, oh gosh, to be you telling me,
Yes,
and then they want to come and engage in requesting more time. I even understand, before I jump back in, I even understand that the one in the east is trying to fuel her request for 5 more years on incomplete structure that they use to mama guide people. So that's where Tobagonians come to be mama guide for vote with establishments that have been proven to be incomplete on that grounds. Come now, man.
Yeah, man. I mean, and as you mentioned, the issue of the, Tobago is a kind of soft target where security is concerned. I mean, we lament the porousness of the borders in the country for that matter because of what takes it. But Tobago is much more acute in the Tobago space. The fishermen on the north, Castara, Palatuvier, these areas there complain vehemently about encroachment and vessels from Barbados and Venezuela that fish in the frequently. We're talking 4 or 5 miles off Charlottesville. You understand? And doing that with impunity. And last night at the meeting in Castara, Mr. Tate was talking about, with his responsibility in fisheries and so on, that when he gets these calls from the fishermen and so on, and he calls the Coast Guard responds to him and say they have no vessel. You understand? So these matters, I remember the Chief Secretary making a gesture to the Ministry of National Security to provide some pirogues at least to assist. And the minister refused to accept the gesture. I know that the THA from 2021 to present has spent upwards at least $4 million on supporting Ministry of National Security.
And it's important to add a schedule that they have,
of course,
more control over.
And it's over, and the monies for the Ministry of National Security is over $2 billion.
Let me give Tobago a quick example of why we have to erase these people from the inners and the walls of decision making for this country. But firstly, to the issues that the people in Tobago is facing. One of the first steps to solving that is to send David Joseph Thomas to the parliament come Monday the 28th.
Right.
And additionally, people of Tobago all here, listen, when they come with them political and constitutional mamagism, remember the kind of disrespect that is being handed out to Tobago.
Yes.
Pastor Baynes, a car park in San Fernando was more than the Tobago development budget.
That's true.
This has nothing to do with all the thing about Mr. Farley this and Mr. Farley that and Farley that and Farley. No, all your Tobagonians, we have to understand this is the kind of holistic and constitutional disrespect being handed out to Tobago. So a car park for people in Trinidad, South, is more pertinent than Tobago's development. And still, we have an administration that still finds the fiscal creativity to assist in areas that is not their duty.
Of course. Yeah, man. I mean, I know firsthand that works have been done on the prison, works have been done to house the Ministry of the Police and Soldier, that joint operation, and also rental of vehicles, and the Secretary of Finance was reiterating it this week, as a matter of fact, that out of the coffers of the THA, we have spent in the last 3.5 years $4 million at least minimum. It may be a little more on 6 scheduled
Items.
items, all because security is our business.
Exactly.
You understand what I'm saying? It is our business. If we can't just sit and fold our hands and say, well, all right, they ain't doing nothing. And it speaks to how from the central government standpoint, how they see their personnel in the Tobago space. Everything and everybody in Tobago must suffer. You understand? And this is why we are saying, and we're using this program to continue to promote that these people have no right to come to ask you to vote for them again on the 28th, because they have not represented the responsibility that we gave to them for the 10 years.
And next thing they're pushing right now is to be why the Farley-led administration making more noise for more money and whatnot. Mm-hmm. Now, again, to the people at Tobago, we need to understand, it is not just the Farley-led administration making noise for more money. A commission called the Dispute Resolution, a legal entity, order that we receive between that percentage of 4.3 to 6%. So it's not Farley administration making noise for money. Right. I even, when they talk about misuse and mismanagement, because they're trying to peddle these lies in this space. Look at the situation about Dwight Dog. I'm sure Dwight Dog sometimes probably does wish he could request his name be removed from that establishment. That has to be one of the greatest disrespected Tobago athletes ever passed away. I cannot come here and then mention such disrespect. Over 30 million. And athletes couldn't be in a position to use it to enhance their technical skills. Tobagonians, let me wake up. Let me wake up and understand the facts. Let me wake up and face the fact. These people do not care about the holistic development of Tobago. And these are just some drop in the bucket in terms of examples. Sure.
So, I mean, politics is something else, I understand. I mean, I don't agree with everybody, but I understand why some people get disillusioned and stuff, and they brand everybody the same. And in order for the campaign for the PNM in Tobago especially to have any life, they have to try to peg it to something. They have to try to to draw some analogy with something, and so they try to rope in the performance of the administration here, the THA, with their lack thereof.
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, but the thing about it, in actuality, you can't argue away the performance of the TPP government for the past 3 years plus. You can't argue it away.
I convinced the current THA executive under the lead of Chief Secretary Farley Augustine. You all are a bunch of magicians. I believe you are a bunch of fiscal and constitutional magicians, because, I mean, what all would have been able to do, and again, if all don't take Breaker Benjamin words, go around and see for yourself. See the kind of development that is going on with the liquor that is received from central government. So much money outstanding. If they had to follow the recommendation of the Dispute Resolution Commission, right now Tobago is being owed heavily.
Yes, of
and
course.
If they are given what they are due, you could imagine much more that could be done. But they will try to convince us otherwise. This is why, as I said earlier at the beginning, education.
Yeah.
Education about where we really are is key.
Right. And hopefully that a program like this and what we've been saying here for the past 2 weeks kind of helps. You understand? There is so much to learn about the politics of Tobago. There's so much to learn about the governance in the Tobago space. The Secretary of Finance made the point a couple days ago, I think it was on Monday that she was here, that even what is so shameful, what is so unacceptable, what is downright ridiculous, that we are owed. You underfund the Tobago government, right? You violate the law in terms of how the money should come. It should come in quarterly blocks. You do what you want. And they're still owing the THA now about $150 million according to what the Secretary of Finance was telling.
Exactly, and it's how they're giving us our allocation too. how they
But that is
giving
the point.
that, you know, I mean,
That is the point.
It's as though if these people is saying we could do what we want to Tobago.
But that is the point.
Treat them how we want.
That is the point. That is the point.
Treat
That
them
is-
how we want.
That is exactly what they've been doing.
And then they're using these state arms.
Yes.
They're using these state arms to torment
Yes.
THA officials.
That is true.
You know,
That is-
and that is even more disgusting, that you're using the state and to disrespect the officials, and then when it is clear you are telling Tobago and you all are foolish or they can't see what we're doing. My people of Tobago, we have an opportunity in a couple of days' time
Yes.
to bring an end to that kind of constitutional manipulation and send 2 men to parliament that cannot be constitutionally and administratively muzzled. Because we have no ties to anybody in Trinidad
Right.
to meet we in some corridor and give you some envelope and tell me what to do.
Right.
Send 2 men who have solely Tobago interest
Sure.
at heart.
Sure. And I think one of the things that has come out in the conversations, I believe, I am of that view, and I've shared it already as well, is that we are not sending representatives and leave them alone. We because they represent us. So really and truly, if it means that we have to load up the ferry in mass and go to Port of Spain,
course.
you understand? We're willing to do that because we feel committed to this thing, the Tobago of yesteryear. This kind of dormant, subservient kind of, domesticated Tobago that is seen by a lot of people in Port of Spain. That has to stop.
That has to stop.
You understand? And there's the Tobago, shall I say, the giant that is Tobago is no longer asleep. We have come to the place where we've embraced the fact that we have enormous potential. Tobagonians have excelled on every discipline that you could think about across the world. They continue to enrich other jurisdictions, because wherever a skilled Tobagonian is found, he or she will excel.
Of course, we just that naturally.
That's right. So as it relates to what we think is rightfully ours, we are asking for nothing that is outside of that. It is rightfully ours.
And that is the functioning part.
Yes.
We're not over begging us that I said.
Right.
All we want is what we are rightfully owed to. And if we have to, as you said, gather up and go on the boat and go down with Pastor Baynes and Tobago, I have already begun the process to find a garment suitable. Even if I have to stand up on the outside,
Yes.
I must be within the vicinity when Tobago says enough is enough.
Yes.
When Tobago stands up in defense of its legacy and its honor.
Right.
And give us the chance.
Right.
And give us the chance to be able to determine our own right. You could imagine where we island would have been if this financial assassination on the economical resources would not have taken place. Even in your constituency,
Yes.
your area, that famous project where millions of siphons away and a 5-year-old could go there now and see the level of injustice. What could have happened? You know what that could have mean, Pastor Baynes? It could have mean assistance for a family in the west, assistance for a family in the east, the north, wherever the case may be. Right now, people to be able, because of the fiscal disrespect and the autonomical disrespect that is being sent and distributed to Tobago, your THA officials have to be working miracles every month. And this is the facts, people.
Yes.
This is not just Pastor Baynes and Breaker Benjamin wanting to talk.
Right.
Because I'm almost certain that the both of us could have other things doing.
Of course.
But it's because we are passionate about bringing the facts to you all.
Sure. Indeed. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? We are 2 minutes to the top of the hour. And I've been speaking with Breaker Benjamin here. We're talking issues. We're talking some of the prospects, the perspective rather, of young people as it relates to the vote come Monday and the politics in general in the Tobago space. Breaker, you gotta take 60 seconds, final thoughts, and we're jumping out.
People, on the Grand Rising Monday, get up, prepare yourself. Head out to the polls. Wherever all the polling district, all the polling divisions, wherever all are going to vote. And partake in the process that will determine the futuristic and holistic development of this island. And the start and the key to doing that is sending Miss Webster Roy and all the decorum are displaying it.
Yeah.
And Miss Kojo Lewis, send them on permanent political leave.
Yes.
And send David Joseph Thomas in the east.
Yes.
And Joel Marcus Sampson in the west.
Right.
Send them to the doors.
Yes.
And the corridors of the decision-making house in this country with the parliament, so that Tobago, for the first time in years, and to be a bit more numerically correct, in 10 years,
Right.
will have a voice to address the issues of Tobago. No other decision on Monday, people.
Right.
The Tobago People's Party. Sink the X.
Yes, man.
Sink it
Yes, yes.
by the anchor.
Right.
And save this island. That is the greatest little island on this
Right.
planet.
And is that.
It's as simple as that.
And is that. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for joining us today on the program. We have been engaging the thoughts of Mr. Junior Breaker Benjamin as a young person, who's concerned about development in Tobago, concerned about youth, concerned about representation for young people and by extension for the people of Tobago. We trust that this program would be of some benefit to you. We have to go now. Tomorrow we are expected to have, this may be our final program. The Honorable Chief Secretary should be with us tomorrow morning at 9, so make plans to join us. All right, this has been Who Feels It Knows It here on Tambourine Radio 92.7. God bless you. Have a good day. Stay safe. We talk to you again soon. We gone. Yeah, boss man. Good show.
Yeah,